Good afternoon and welcome to Locked In Stitches. One moment while I just make sure. Good afternoon. Okay, yes, that does appear to be working. So now I love it when things work. Good afternoon. How are you going today? As always, I am Julie Hall. Thank you so much for coming along and spending some of your evening with us. I don't mind whether you are on Facebook or YouTube. We are honoured to have you join us. We would love for you to pop in and say hello. Let us know what you've been working on. It's all about the joy of stitching. Okay, so today we are going to work on the final in our Deco Divas quilt, which for me is Opal. And I love Opal. I think she's very, very elegant. And what I absolutely love most is the gorgeous butterfly brooch. And I can see Val Hillier is with us. Thank you for joining us, Val. I hope you're doing well. And so let's come and things. Now, as always, I am starting off with my wash away thread, and I have my grey fabric that I've used for all of my blocks. And let's come through, and we are going to use the free basting stitch that is in the that is on our website for free. Good evening, Michelle. How are you doing up in nice sunny Queensland? Hopefully sunny. Got to be warmer than here in Canberra. I had to put a cardigan on again today. Horrible, horrible things. So yes, the basting stitch is available as a freebie. It is one of those things that you are only going to want to stitch with a wash away thread though. And that wash away thread really has made my entire life so much easier with this quilt. And of course I have the embroiderer's felt on underneath that. Oh, hot and humid 34, icky. Okay, well, we're at 20, but yes, I had the cardigan on again today. Okay. And now we've got more pieces. This is one of the blocks of the Divas. Some of them have very little applique in them. Others end up with a lot of applique. A lot of different sort of fabrics in them. And this is one of those blocks. But we are going to start out with our base body colour. Now, loving, this is block 12, and I have not used up an entire fat quarter of the body fabric, so fairly happy with that. Naturally using my thread snips. Now, if you are looking for a cool little Secret Santa gift for a stitcher, the thread snips are great ones to use for that, and we do have a couple more pair of the hot pink in stock as well. And I can see we've got Christine Annabelle with us. Thank you for joining. Okay. Now, the reason that I've then gone and done the cheek here is because I wanted that beautiful spiral blush, but I then need to cover part of that up with the hat. So the cheek, the blush had to be done, at that stage. And for our last block, oh, good question, Michelle. Absolutely. You can flip them over. And I think I actually saw, somebody sent me a picture, probably was a couple of years ago, of they had done the same women with the same fabrics and everything, but they'd flipped them and then they'd used them, I think it was on cushions or something for the bed. And one of the things that I liked was the black was just a little bit too plain for me. But using the really deep grey kind of really bumped up the colour options. And then we're going to come through, and I've got a little bit creative with the colours on here. I've used more of my multi-tonal colours because I think this green fossily sort of fabric is just so beautiful that I really wanted to be able to come through and highlight that. And using a multicoloured thread has done that. Now, I've just pulled my hoop out a little bit so that I can get to the fabrics here. Or moved the hoop forward. And you know that if in doubt, always poke your tongue out. If you have trouble, getting into the right angle, best way to help yourself. And Michelle, as you and I know, we did this on bags last year or this year. And yes, absolutely, you can twist the women around to flip them over depending on which side you want to show. Okay. And I'm still, it doesn't take much to amuse me. But I love with applique that you can come through and just take what could fundamentally be just a boring piece of fabric and then use it to add thread to that, to add texture and really bring it to life. So when people say and tell you, oh, you're just putting fabric down, you're just stitching. Yeah, cut those people out of your life. You don't need the negativity. And what do we have here? Now, very excited next week. Not only will it be my birthday, whatevs for that, but then my darling husband is going away, which means I get, he's only going away for a night. He's got meetings down in Melbourne. But it does mean that I get a night to myself. So very excited about that. Oh, yes, a felt would look lovely. And one of the things that I'm planning on doing next year is starting to play with some iron-on vinyl with applique as well, and just looking at what we can do with that. So this is the block that has the tulip flowers with it. So we're going to come through and stitch out and for some reason, because I use the word felt quite often, I get a lot of Facebook posts from a place called My Felt Lady, and some of the colours that she has, oh, they are just so beautiful. So no, I could definitely see that. But one of the things I've enjoyed all year with this quilt is playing with the colour and really trying to step out of the colours that I originally did them in. Because one of the troubles that I have is in being able to think beyond what I originally created. Because that was where my mindset was, I just struggle with that. Okay, so we'll cut around our flowers here, and then we can start on our stitching. Now, this was a great trick that I've learnt this year as well. When I've used the basting stitch, oops, yep, you can see the dye job there, putting the quilt clips to hold the fabric firm means that when you are stitching close to the top of that basting stitch, the fabric does not buckle around. And it's just those little tricks that make the end result look so much better. And the other one that I find fascinating is, like, I have finished off a couple of different colours, spools of colours this year. Like I've gone and finished my red, but I was already fairly, close to the end of that. What I found fascinating though was that I really haven't finished my skin tone. And I've always been amazed at just how long a spool of thread does last for. Oh, poor Em's at the moment. She's got the worst cough. We just cannot get rid of it with her. Okay. Oh, self-praise and all that crap. I love that outline stitch. And mind you, I don't think I've done any applique work this year. I might have to get on top of that. But I get my present. I've told Edward that I want my present on Saturday. If I'm nice and I'm good, can I have my present, please? Because I want to be able to play with it on the weekend. So the biggest struggle that I had with these blocks was I loved the idea of the grey background because I've done one of these quilts in black, one of them in white. What I hadn't really taken into consideration was just how much of an absorbing colour grey is. So from a colour theory point of view, this was a great lesson for me, learning how to find the right colour threads for using on these blocks. But I really am thrilled at the way it has all come out. Oh, Michelle, I really think you should. I mean, you know how much I loved when I had the large one. It was just too large to use though. And I really am looking forward to having a play. The other thing that I've done this week that I am very proud of is I've spent some time studying and playing. As you guys know, I use Janome Digitizer, which is a program that it's based on Wilcom, and it is a program that Janome now don't sell. And it is very similar, and by very I mean very, very, very similar to Wilcom and to Hatch and to Benina. But Janome have also got Artistic Digitizer out there, and I own Artistic Digitizer, and I am looking at and I spent part of this week practicing and playing with it so that I can do some software lessons next year and share with you guys whether you are using Janome Digitizer, Hatch, whether you're using artistic digitizer, and I'm hoping that the wonderful Michelle Reynolds will then share with us as well, sort of performing the same actions in the FAF software. Okay, and so we've done that dark teal, which I think really is a beautiful colour and goes so well with both the purple and the orange. You just can't go too far wrong with orange tulips, can you? Like it really is just a classic. Okay, so let's come and thread up here. And how about everybody else? What's everybody else working on this week? Oh, Bonbon, you're with us. Thank you for joining us, darling. Okay, so this is a thread that I had in the drawer. I did not know how it was going to go. It was one of those freebies that you end up with. So it is multicolored. It is from shades of dark green all the way through to the palest of almost whites. And I'm liking how it looks here on the fill stitches, but wait till it does the satin. It just turns out beautifully. I'm trying to think of what else. I got stuff done on Monday. What was I doing though? Ah, I know what I was doing. I was doing all of the extra blocks and putting together of my lovely quilt. Okay. And again, just the texture in it. So what happens, and the reason I've used those clips there, as you can see down the bottom, as you're doing that satin stitch, the fabric wants to contract just a little bit. And the clips there just stop it from buckling over. Is everyone up to date on their Christmas stitching? I am sure it is towel time. This time of year is always towel time, isn't it? And then everybody who knows that you own an embroidery machine will be doing the, oh, would you mind if we just put my insert name here on a towel? Now, historically speaking, you'll say, no, not a problem at all, happy to. And then they'll turn up with 6 towels. Oh, yeah, I thought we could do all the grandkids, or all the, my XYZ wanted some as well, or... Michelle hasn't started. Adele's with us. Oh, Denise, I am very, very jealous. Watching from your cabin on the way back to Sydney from New Zealand. Oh, that sounds very cool. Oh, reading pillows. That's a nice one. I saw a great idea for a reading pillow. Well, not necessarily even a reading pillow, but for a younger child. And I'm hoping to get a great niece or nephew next year, if I am lucky. Good afternoon, Adele. I think I said that. I can't quite remember. It's too late in the afternoon. But let me see if I can find what I am talking about. A lot of different sort of designs. But let me see if I can come over here. Okay, so the premise is that you do the basic pillow and then you have all of these extra blocks that you use with buttonholes to put on to celebrate the different things. Now, I doubt I would ever put on something like a February the 14th, so it doesn't really work with my aesthetic that way. But for people who do, and for having one that had Christmas and Easter on there, I could certainly get on board with that. Let me find. Okay. Okay. Oh no, you're on a ship that turned back due to a medical emergency. Oh good heavens, was the person okay? And please tell me it wasn't you then, Denise, as well, or your loved ones. So when Dad and I went back in February, we were one of the first ships that got turned, or that wasn't allowed to dock in at Christchurch because of the hull cleaning. And we were knocked off. We were a little bit, narky at that, right up until the the cyclone came through, and then we weren't so knocked off. Okay. Now, I hate how that colour green just blends in so quickly with the grey. It's just way, way, way too close. So that's a live and learn one for me. But I do like the way the purple is working. I know, and Michelle, this one, they've even said yeah, look, going to New Zealand at all is just too much trouble, so we'll take you to Tasmania instead. And because friends of Dad's were on that one, which I just thought was really amusing. And I'd be quite disappointed if that was me. If I thought I was going to New Zealand and instead I went to Tasmania. Not that Tasmania is not a great place, but it's not what I signed up for. And it's not what I paid money for. Okay. And again, purple and orange are coming through so nicely in this one. Oh, that's such a bummer. Dunedin was my favourite part on the entire trip, and Milford Sound was beautiful. Darwin to Broome. Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. We haven't even sat down and decided what we're looking at doing next year yet. Because we're going to drive down to see Edward's mum next weekend, and sort of car trips are when we do most of our planning and thinking and things like that. Oh, wow! So you're going a boat? Wow, I didn't think that. I didn't think you'd do that, Michelle. I just assumed you were taking the caravan. But I like this time of year because we do get all optimistic about, what trips we're going to do next year. We start the planning process, don't we? It's a good thing. I want prayers and thoughts next week. My daughters are doing their pre-learning and going for their learner's permits next week. It's taken them this long. One of the big issues that we have is because the ACT government is changing the rules around autism and driving. So we really need to get on the front foot with it. So they will be doing that. And again, it's just how the stitching transforms the fabric. And Adele, you've just come back from a big trip. How did you go? And are you back onto the sewing machine yet? I've been looking at selling off some of my 550s, which have been very infrequently used because I only ever took them to shows. And one of the issues that I've been having is if an embroiderer like sees it on there and shows interest or anything and then realizes that it's me who's selling it, they are then concerned that it might be something that I've been using for videos and things like that, and trying to explain, no, these are my show machines, and they are the ones that and I test them and I make sure they've gone through with my repair guide before anything is sold. And yeah, these are not the ones that I use for all of my demos and things like that. It's just so pretty watching the colours come up on it as well. So have any of you asked for stitching things for Christmas? I know a couple of brands have put out new machines this year. I know Husqvarna have got theirs out. I know Benina have put out a new one this year as well. So there's lots and lots of pretty toys out there. We went out on Saturday and I got Adele's back into the sewing, yay. Oh yeah, you got to get moving, Adele. And we finished off a lot of our Christmas shopping. We just happened to be, because we were dropping off the girls for work, so we went into the shopping centre. We were together. They were doing the last sort of the Black Friday sales, and we found one of the things that that Cameron sort of suggested, because he's sort of saving up to buy a house and everything, is that for him for gifts we look at getting him, or we buy a set of saucepans and give him a saucepan each year. So we bought the nice big set of saucepans for him, and he'll just get some each year sort of thing. And then I'm sick of him borrowing the sheets to my bed, which are nice quality, the ones that I love. So I bought him his own set of sheets for his bed. And he's pretty well done with his Santa sack. The girls are done as well. I've just got to get Emma her main present for birthday and Christmas, and she's thinking a new computer for going to TAFE next year. And that seems like something that her father and brother should be helping with more than me. That was the other thing that I did. I got my cutter out this week as well. So I've got a Secret Santa thing at work, and I got some vinyl, and I did a water bottle for the person I've got for Secret Santa. So I got that out, and it's one of those things. It's always funny when you get the cutter out And, well, for me anyway, I sit there and, oh, it just seems like so much work. And once you turn it on, it's really, really not. And I do love that about it. And here we have our gal all coming together. So I think I've done all my stitching for Christmas. Now I'm kind of on to my, okay, what am I going to do over that Christmas period to get me ready for next year? What are the pretty things that I can start on? What are the fun things? Oh, not good. Yes, yes, you need to get your tuchus in gear, which unfortunately means you probably need me to get my tuchus in gear as well. And ladies, if any of you are willing to travel to North Queensland, out near Rockhampton, Michelle runs an amazing retreat out there for machine embroiderers. And they have an amazing time. And she's going to let me go out there and teach again. You know, my priorities, my important things. Okay. So do you have both eyes done? Because you're getting cataracts, aren't you? Do you have both eyes done at the same time? Is that not... That seems like it would be counterintuitive. I don't know. I don't know what it's sort of all about, if that makes any sense. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, one on the 2nd, one on the 31st. I was worried you wouldn't be able to see anything for a while. Okie dokie. So now we are going to come through and thread up our red, which is our lip colour. Oh, no driving for 6 weeks. That one would hurt. Okay, and now we can move on to our gold. And then our orange. Ah, that's right. And so you hear so much about Taylor Swift coming. I keep on forgetting that Pink's coming back to Australia as well. Okay. And I love how much that gold just totally blings up that butterfly. Oh, I know. I'm very jealous of the Paul McCarthy, actually. Everybody who saw that was saying just how good it was. Which is what you want to hear. Cameron and Edward are off next year at some point to see some group that sort of Edward switched Cameron onto. Now, the joy of the metallic thread, of course, is you are going to end up with a break or two. Like, you know, nothing's perfect. Yeah, the worst thing for you with the Billy Joel was you had to listen to me sing all night. And the worst thing is I'm going down to Melbourne on the same weekend again. And yeah, the metallic really does just make this quilt. And that's on all of the blocks. Now, I had a really interesting one that I'd seen on a question that I'd seen on Facebook the other day. And I know every machine handles different threads differently. I know very, very well that I could be sitting next to somebody with the exact same machine as mine, with the exact same thread on it, stitching the same design, and what works on one doesn't necessarily work on the other. But there were a couple of people there talking about the soft lights, and I know people who swear blind by them. I mean, Michelle, I know you love the soft light thread. But they were just, whatever machine they were using, they were just having such trouble with it, with the specific design they were working with. And it was one of those things for me. I found Kingstar, and I kind of almost sort of stopped there because, I don't know, I guess I didn't need to go any further because it was working, and it was working so well. I must say I was impressed with the Wonderful Metallic, and I will possibly get some more of those next year. Because they've got such a beautiful colour range, and I think I could have some fun with a couple of different projects that I am thinking of. Okay, so I think we are up to our last colour. And again, I've gone just that little bit darker than the fabric itself, just to give it a little bit of pop. Now, an interesting question there, Michelle. You say you like the Marathon. Was that one of the first brands that you had with your first machine? Because I have found people generally, like if they have a good experience, they stay with that that first brand. Now, Thursday night really does become one of my favourite nights, not only because I get to spend time with you guys, but then because when I'm finished here, I go out to the lounge room. My beloved and I share a bottle of champagne, and we, well, he doesn't. There, using the word "we" is a bit of an overstatement. He goes into his office, and I watch the Great British Sewing Bee. Oh, okay. So RA was your first one. I was probably a little bit too... yeah, there is no nice word for cheap, really, when it comes to some of them. RA was always... I saw a lot of people using them, but for where I was at that time, they were so they were so much more expensive than a lot of other ones out there. And we've got Kathy Oderkirken with us as well. Thank you for joining us, Kathy. I hope you are having a fabulous day. And there is now officially 25 days till Christmas. Or as some cheerful bugger put up the other day, 3 more Mondays till Christmas. That was terrifying. And that is our quilt. So that is our last block. Now let me come back here. And okay, there we go. So what do we think of that one, guys? I think she is looking fabulous. I am also loving, and I'm going to come, let me just work out how to do this properly. And so, loving the way my gals look here. And this is me auditioning the fabrics that I'm going to put them out on. So I've got this one. And then I've also got, oh, and I've lost now, where was I? And then I've also got this one as well. Now, I absolutely agree that the blocks themselves are more, I don't know, I'm still umming and ahhing about which way to go, whether to go the burgundy or the paler. Now, this is my mock-up while I start playing of what I'm thinking of a block of the month for next year. And I want it to be all about, for those of you who want to learn to do a little bit of digitizing, to have the opportunity to digitize these blocks as you go along. So a real learning experience. But that is to come. So, as always, thank you so much for sharing time with me. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And otherwise, we will see you next Thursday night for the end of the lovely quilt. Until next time, have a stitching day, guys. Bye.